Hello, I'm Zoe. I want to give you an update on where we are with Hey Monika because lots is happening behind the scenes. It's not always easy to keep you up to date. But first of all, what is Hey Monika? Hey Monika is a work experience solution. What we're trying to do is bridge the gap between your accounting qualifications or your bookkeeping qualifications, what it's like to actually be in the office doing the work with clients. A very brief overview. We ultimately have two ways of working in Hey Monika. The first problem we tried to solve was that people may have done their exams but not had the experience of working with an actual client. And the kind of questions and curveballs that can be thrown at you can really knock your confidence. So, what we've done is we've built a set of fake clients. They all have their own backstory, their own business. They have a particular piece of accounting work they need you to complete end to end for their specific business. So you can see those on our scenario board. You can go into any of them. Some of them use accounting software, which is on the market. Xero generally is used, and you'll see that Amy here uses the demo company within Xero. But some of them are based on spreadsheet examples or paperwork, or they don't actually need you to do any accounting work. So, for example, anti-money laundering checks or answering some questions about making tax digital. So we've covered lots of different areas, and we are building more, and I'll show you about that in a second. Some of our scenarios, though, now, in terms of an update, actually feature our own online ledger built software simulation that looks like an accountancy software, which means that rather than needing to go and set up a trial account with a piece of software that you might not be using right now, you can just go in and do the work. Because something we've learned from feedback is that you just need to get on with the experience of doing the bookkeeping work. You're probably not going to be setting up an account on day one. And this was a particular issue that we had with our original Adele scenario. So Adele has had a full update. And in here, we've got a month-end scenario that you can work through with Adele, where you're going into her accounting platform and you're answering various questions. But straight away, you get to go into her ledger. You can reconcile bank transactions. You can upload her bills so that they get pulled into the software. You can change things and date things. Let's do that. And approve, and then things come up as matches in the bank feed. You can raise her invoices. You can also go and run her P&L for the month, so you can see, what has she actually spent money on? Well, there was that bill that was paid. There's her phone bill that was gone through. So we can run these reports, and what that means is that as we're working through the scenario, we can actually be going in and we can be looking at her accounts, doing the work, and straight away getting into some really sort of useful, juicy accounting work. What we've also done in the scenarios where we have built the ledger, and just so you know, we haven't just got Adele, we haven't just got Adele's month end, we've got an Adele year end scenario, which is in quality assurance testing right now on the 8th of June. It's being reviewed now. We've also built another scenario for a retailer. She runs a cafe. She also sells online, so she has some different payment processes where she's receiving reports and she needs to gross up those sales and expenses into her accounting software. So you go through the activity of doing that and posting her payroll journals and things like that. And we've built a ledger for you where you can do that exact piece of work. But what we've also done in these scenarios where we've built the accounting tool for you, we've also built a finance inbox, which means that you have access to a realistic looking accounting inbox, just like you might have if you're managing a client's email account, their finance at or their accounts at email account, where people are sending in queries or they're sending in information that will help you with the transactions that you need to be processing. So you can have a look through those. You can file them, decide what you need to do with them, decide if they're marketing or junk or need to be shared with the client, or whether it's something that actually needs your attention for you to be able to adjust in the accounting software. So that's something that's really exciting. I'm really excited about this because it means you can get straight into doing the accounting work, which was one of our sort of barriers, I suppose, in terms of not having what is called, I've learned, sandbox environments, which are like environments where you're not going to mess anything up, but where you can have access to the various accounting tools that we come across when we go to events like Accountex. We don't always have accounts for those things. We don't want to pay for those things just to do training. So we need to give you a way that you can get in and experience what it's like to be using a ledger or what it's like to be using a certain piece of software in the best way that we can. So that's a big update that's happened on scenarios. Something else that's happened in challenge mode as well. We received some feedback that some of our year-end working paper challenges were a bit too advanced for beginners. So we've actually reclassified those as intermediate. And I'll just tell you about challenge mode before I move into that. So whereas scenario mode was built to give you an experience of working with a specific client, with a specific business, end to end through a particular activity, what we've done with challenge mode is we've built challenges that specifically test a skill or something that you've learned about in your exams that you will need to be doing in practice, but you haven't actually seen what the workflow looks like for that particular task. So this is partly about testing your knowledge and understanding of that role, but then going out and building something like a working paper, for example. So in the intermediate challenges, you'll find we've got things like the accounts payable working paper, there's a bank reconciliation, the year end, there's a director's loan account working paper, corporation tax provision. So you'll see what you're trying to achieve, and then we'll take you through as we build this out as well. But what we've also done to help our beginners, people who are just entering the industry or just starting training and they're going into the office and maybe don't have that knowledge and that ability to talk about the work and use the terminology that we use so freely once we understand it, which really is fundamental for success in this role. We've got some beginner level challenges which really help you with those sort of first steps in understanding the environment that you're going to be working in. So for example, we've built out an accounting environment challenge which covers some of the important accounting concepts, terminology, why we need to behave professionally, what ethical behavior means, what to look out for, what kind of things actually aren't ethical and we need to be kind of clued into. So if we see something like that happening, we know what we need to do next. We've also covered things like critical thinking and AI, because this is a time where this is rapidly changing the environment we work in. It's possible that someone might share a document with you that looks very, very real, and we need to know how to fact check and sense check that information. We've built another scenario about professional communication, about how to answer the phone, what you need to do when you're writing an email, how to write an email with a subject line that your client actually responds to. And we've also got a challenge here about the world of business and how businesses actually make money, because I think sometimes just not having had exposure to a particular industry can make people feel a little bit intimidated about, I don't even know what this is going to look like. We've also got some more focused beginner activities that we're building out step by step, and I'll show you how we're doing this in a minute, which covers some of those core areas that are on the syllabus when you're doing your early exams, like assets and liabilities, current assets, fixed assets or non-current, cash book, petty cash, that kind of thing. So we're starting to cover this content as well, and you'll see this being added into challenge mode. We've also added, and you'll find this hiding within challenge mode, we have also got a start here, kind of tour that takes you through Hey Monika, so that you'll understand how to use the settings, how to get support, what the difference is between scenarios and challenges in a little bit more depth than I've described here, how to choose the activities that you're going to work through, and how to track your progress. So if you are starting, you'll be able to find that in challenges, which is this little 4-box button here on the left-hand side. But we have asked for it, and it hopefully will be done soon. It should also soon be pinned under resume your learning on your dashboard, which is this home button. That's where you'll be when you log in. So you might be able to see it right now. I clearly can't, but that will be pinned there in the future. But if you can't find it, just pop into challenges and scroll down and you'll find the start here. They're sorted in alphabetical order in challenge mode. Okay, let me just show you some of the videos that we've added into our challenges and scenarios as well. So we had a little look at Adele just now. Challenges and scenarios generally start with a video. If it's a scenario where you're working with a specific client, you'll get a bit of information about their business at the beginning. But when it's a challenge and we're teaching you a specific skill, you won't have a client, you'll have a trainer who's here to talk you through things. So they'll tell you a little bit about the background, the context of what we're going to be learning. Then you have some information about this activity. We'll also point you to documents and resources that are available to you to support you. And then you'll go into a screen that looks a little bit like this, where you might have a text question with multiple choice answers, or sometimes you'll have an embedded video which you might need to watch. I'm just going to click through some of them. And you might have a video that's embedded here, which might be more training, or it might be, giving you the answers here, it might be something like this, where in this AI and critical thinking example, we've seen something that a client has shared. There's a document that they've shared that we want to go and have a look at. And here it is. He sent us an email. He's attached something that looks very realistic about MTD being scrapped. Of course, we all know that MTD hasn't been scrapped, but it looks convincing. And it's this kind of thing that we need to be able to sense check ourselves. So we've got various documents, things to try and make it feel as realistic as possible, so you can go through and you can answer those questions. Of course, we've also got help from Monika. So if you ever have a technical question you don't know the answer to, Monika is there as your business bestie, your mentor, the person sat next to you at work that you can ask those technical questions that sometimes you just feel too stupid to ask, or you haven't got anyone to ask, and you find yourself Googling. That's what Monika's there for. And we've also listened to your feedback about help videos, and for questions where it's appropriate, where there's maybe a task that you need to work through. So for example, in this Adele scenario, if there's an activity here and I need to answer a question, what's it asking me to do? It's asking me, are there any things missing from the P&L? I need to talk to the client and ask her about some other expenses. So I might want to talk to Adele and ask her a question. But if I don't know what I'm trying to find out here, what I can do is I can click watch help videos. I can watch a video where we're actually talking you through this. And those videos can be made larger by clicking on this little sort of circle diagram as well. So we've tried very hard to make sure we've embedded help videos. If there's a guide or anything that's going to support you, we're adding it into the document vault. And that's all working nicely. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how you can find out about which challenges and scenarios to do first, because you might be looking at your dashboard and thinking, well, I don't even know where to start here. So if you head over to our website, we've got a few things that can help you here. So I'm just going to go into skills. Skills is a great place to go. So if you go into skills, you can find out lots of information about what's included in Hey Monika, but also what's on our roadmap and what's coming up. So if you go to the skills button here, what we've got is a list of skills that we've pulled out of various accounting and bookkeeping syllabuses. What we've tried to do is go through the syllabuses of the main UK professional bodies and identify what are the core items, the core skills and knowledge that are being tested within the exam. Now, just a disclaimer, Hey Monika is not a substitute for your exams. What we're trying to do is help you put your exams into practice. But if, for example, I wanted to, let's pick a random one, types of expenditure, distinguish revenue expenditure from capital expenditure, I could actually go into any of these scenarios, Guest Digital Lab, the Shed virtually there, or I could go into these two challenges, the World of Business and the Accounting Environment Challenge, and these will touch on distinguishing between revenue and capital expenditure. I can't promise that we've covered this in the depth that is in your syllabus, but what we've tried to do is point the syllabus items to the scenarios and challenges that we've built so you can see what we're covering. Now, if you want to look, so that's really useful if there's a specific skill you want to go in and practice, and there are absolutely heaps of these, so you can go through and see, and we're building more all the time. But if you wanted to review the challenges and scenarios we've built, which we have live, or what's coming up in the future, you can have a look through the live section, and you can see that we've got 23 which are live, up and running, good to go, and we've listed out underneath those what's actually covered. So in the Accounting Environment Challenge, we talk about the purpose and definition of bookkeeping, bookkeeper duties, responsibilities, etc., etc., etc. What we've also got here is underneath, we've got a number which are in quality assurance. So these are in final testing. They're almost ready to go live. So we've got Adele's year end. We've got the Seaside Shed, which is the cafe. She sells in the store, but she also sells online. And we've also got VaultWise EV, which is a client selling solar panels, I think. So there's lots of information here in there as well. And then we've got 5 here, which are live, but they're scheduled for a review. We just want to make sure that they're completely up to date. And what you might find is that for some of these, we build our own custom accounting software. So for example, virtually there is one on my mind that needs its own custom software, possibly Greeny Bins as well. So we'll go through and review these. And then we've got this plan section. We've got 33 specific challenges and skills that we want to build. These are based on communication that we've had with our customers. So the things that you've been asking for, or the things that we've already started to build but aren't ready for quality assurance yet. So these are all in the pipeline. It just comes down to time and building them and making sure that they're right and getting them tested by our team. So that's a useful way to go and see what's on the kind of roadmap for scenarios and challenges that we're going to build. The other things you'll find here is our status. So right now, 8th of June, we've got an issue where Monica's giving null answers. We're speaking to our development team about that. We'll get that fixed as soon as possible. So if you've ever got a question about status, you can review that there. And then on our roadmap, we've got a list of activities that we're working on. So we've got some videos that we're improving at the moment. We've got some work around downloading reports from Stripe or scenarios covering Stripe report downloads that have been requested. We've actually built this into the Heidi, which is the seaside shed scenario, and that's in quality assurance at the moment. So we've got a list of different things which are planned or in progress or in build or review at the moment. You'll also see on our What's New page, we've got a list of things that have been improved lately. So we were asking for an option to give the user that experience of, I don't want to say stress, but the kind of stress that you might have when you're managing an inbox and you've got lots of different things and you're not sure where to start. So you've seen already that in the examples where we have a ledger, we have got a finance inbox, and we've got to decide what to do with this stuff and how to sort of tackle it as we work through. So that's been built as well. We've popped our help button at the top of our website, so you always know how to get help. And just to say, there are lots of articles on that get help button. It's all at heymonika.com. Lots of different articles which will show you how to troubleshoot things, but also you can always email us, hey@heymonika.com. And when you sign up to work with us at Hey Monika, you do get a series of emails, and we're often inviting you to book in a call if you want to have a 20-minute chat with us. We would love your feedback. I'm open to all things critical, constructive. You tell us, we'll work on it. Okay, so that's those particular things. The other thing I wanted to show you, if you're one of our team license holders, you might be interested in how your team are performing. And if you're not one of our team users, you might just be wondering how you're performing against other people. So we've built this progress dashboard. This is updated every month, and it shows us some information about users and how they're performing and what are our most popular activities and who is on the leaderboard. So my name here is, I think, Clear Folder. So we've given everybody an anonymous username. And if you want to know yours, we will actually be getting in touch with our current customers at the moment, and I'll be sending this out over the week commencing the 8th of June, 2026. My username is Clear Folder, so you can always check on my performance. I'm in Team Indigo, which is, of course, the Hey Monika team. And it shows me things like how many logins I've done, how many attempts I've made, how many scenarios and challenges I've passed, how many I've tried. And then it gives me some information about how I can sort of benchmark against others. I can see how my team is performing against other teams. I can see the sort of mix of results. I can see pass rates by team and things like that as well. So if you're interested in how your team's performing an activity, you can see this as well. I think that's just interesting if you're a bit competitive like me. The final thing I want to show you, actually, I think I've got two things I want to show you, but I'm going to show you this first. We've been asked lots of times, and you might have seen it on our roadmap list, lots of people have asked us about recognition for Hey Monika work experience. This is a big challenge. So we have been looking at whether we go through the process of getting CPD accreditation for Hey Monika work. The real reason we built Hey Monika is to give you a realistic experience of working with clients and demonstrating your exam skills in a practice environment. I don't know that CPD is the way to do that. CPD is about confirming that you've continued with your professional learning journey, and it's something that we might do in the future. I'm going to be very honest, it's something that we haven't got the budget for at the moment. So it's something that we have to keep coming back to, and we keep parking. We've had a couple of conversations with professional bodies about this and whether we become an accredited training provider or something like that. And I don't know whether that's the answer, because we're not training you to pass your exams. What we're doing is we're giving you realistic work experience. And what we really need to be able to do is have a route. And if you're watching this and you know someone who can help us with this, what we need is a route to the work that's done on Hey Monika actually being seen and recognised as real work experience. And I don't know how to do that because I don't think that the actual structure for that exists at the moment. So we thought, well, what can we do at the moment to allow you to demonstrate the work that you're doing in Hey Monika? Now, just to be honest, one of the things that I think we have to do is a bit of a PR activity for us to make sure that all employers, accountancy practices are aware of Hey Monika and the quality of the scenarios and challenges that we're able to take you through, the exposure that we give you to all sorts of different environments, different industries, different reporting, different accounting activities that you're going to be doing. But we'll work on that for sure. But what we've done in the meantime, when we've spoken to people who are using Hey Monika as something that's accompanying them in their studies, and they want to show this kind of work experience record, what we've done is we've built out something which you'll find at heymonika.com/CV. We've built out a work experience record. So there's information here about how this works, but ultimately what will happen is when you complete a scenario, so let's say I complete Adele, when I get to the final page and I have passed the scenario, so I've got most of the answers right. Scoring depends on the sort of complexity of questions and the number of questions involved, but it's usually sort of 85% or above pass rate in getting questions right first time. And remember, you can restart any of these scenarios at any time by just going into the scenario, and rather than clicking resume, you can restart and you can go from the beginning. So, you can do these as many times as you want until you get the pass. But when you get to that final page and you pass the scenario or challenge, you'll be given a completion code only if you pass. And when you've got that completion code, what you can do is you can key it in and add it to your record, your work experience record at heymonika.com/CV. This lives locally on your computer. So if you access it from another computer, your progress will be lost. So what you can do is you can click to copy your codes and you can save those on a note somewhere. And then you can come back to it at a later date and restore your codes. And then you can key in any new codes that you've collected for other successful completions. And it will populate like this. You can type your name in at the top here. So I could be Joe Wood if I wanted to. And what you have is a bit of information for employers about what Hey Monika is and what this work experience record shows. And then it lists out the accounting scenarios that you've completed, what industry they're in, what type of business they are, what they do, what the questions are, and which skills have been demonstrated. So I've got Adele's month end in here. I've got Eco on Orange, which is a spreadsheet scenario. And then we've got challenges separately. They're slightly different. You're not obviously working with a client, but what you're doing is you're applying your knowledge to a particular activity so you understand its importance and building something up step by step, for example. So we also list out those challenges as well. And what you can do then is you can print or download a PDF, and you can see that I've got this professional looking work experience record, which I can then attach to my CV if I want to, or I guess I could keep for my unverified CPD record to show that I've done that particular piece of work as well. So I hope that's a helpful solution for anyone who's thinking, how on earth am I going to get the experience that I need? How am I going to demonstrate that? I think that this is a step towards that, and we'll continue to speak to professional bodies. Okay, final thing I want to show you, and this is something that I am so excited about. We've been working on voice mode with our developers, and this is really important to me because what we know from scenarios like Adele, where you're talking to the client, is that the interaction through a kind of a chat, like a WhatsApp message or a messenger chat, isn't really how we will be working with our clients in real life. So we've been talking to our developers about building out voice mode, and this is something that's in progress at the moment. So we have this, let me turn that one off.
Hello, Adelaide Sorensen speaking.
Adelaide Sorensen has got a male voice at the moment. Let me close her down. I thought I was clicking on the chat to the client. So this is what we've got at the moment. At the moment, when you speak to Adele, you say, "Can I have your sales invoices?" And she will say, "Yeah, that's fine. I've put them in the document vault." So she's having a little think about that. And then in a minute, she'll pop them in the document vault for me. So if I go to the document vault, I can see those documents in there. There's another question here where I need her purchase invoices. And this is going to have a little mobile phone or a telephone symbol. It's going to say phone the client, because that obviously straight away to me is confusing. But what I want to show you is how this works. So we're building this. It's being tested at the moment. You can see Adele has got a male voice, but we have got options now to choose voices.
Hello, Adelaide Sorensen speaking.
Hi, Adele. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you getting on?
Good, I'm really good, thanks. Look, I've been looking at your ledger, and I've got some purchase invoices that I want to just match against transactions, but I want to double check a couple of things. Would you mind sharing your purchase invoices with me, please?
Not at all. One moment. Oh, lovely. I've just put them in your document vault. Let me know if you need anything else.
No, that's absolutely fine. How's business at the moment?
Business is good, thanks. It's a busy market, but I'm managing. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just lots of client work going on at the moment. Is there anything else you need from me at the moment, Adele?
No, that's all for now. Thanks for your help. Speak soon.
My pleasure. Bye. Okay, so now we can have a conversation with Adele, and what will happen is when we get to the end of the scenario, we'll be able to see her responses. But I'm going to just go and check in the document vault. Yeah, she's popped her purchase invoices in there for me, so that's great. And I do have the option behind the scenes to be able to change her voice. I'm just going to go through and click some answers. And when I get to the end here and I finish the scenario, I obviously haven't passed this time. And I'd mentioned earlier that if I had passed, I would get that code, which I can unlock in my work experience record. But what I can also see is the voice feedback. So I've got some information, Monica's evaluation of my conversation, my score, things I want to focus on. It says I asked for purchase invoices, but I could have clarified what specific information I needed and how I'd use the invoices. I use some filler words like and just, which undermine the authority and clarity of my communication. So it's making some suggestions of how I could ask this question as well. And I've also got my transcript, which is quite helpful if I want to go back and review things. So this is something very exciting. We're testing it right now. We're obviously giving our avatars the correct voices. Let's go and try another one while we're here if you're nosy. I imagine that Ollie is going to speak to me with a male voice.
Hello, Oliver Green speaking.
Hi, Ollie. How are things?
Things are good. Thanks for asking. How are you doing today?
Great. I'm really well. I just was checking in. Okay, I'll speak to you soon.
Lovely. Thanks. Speak soon.
Okay, so he does speak like a guy. Let's go and see if we've got a female voice, because now I'm on a roll here. I just want to go in and check everything. So let's go back in and choose a female. Jessica. Let's try Jessica. Let's go and have a chat with her. Let's see if that's loading. Great. Okay. Hi, Jessica.
Hello, Hope Bridge International speaking.
Hello, Jessica. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm really well, thanks. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye.
Lovely, thanks. Speak soon.
Okay, clearly everyone has the same male voice, but this is something we're going to go in and add voices to. And what we're also doing, if you're interested, is we're working on personality and backstory, because we want all of your clients to be able to speak to you with real knowledge and understanding of who they are and the background that we've given in the scenario. So we're working on that. I'm excited to share that when it's released. So watch this space. It's coming really soon. The next thing that we'll be doing, where we have the chat with a client where we could type in a message just like you saw in the live product, we're working on this at the moment so that this will be replaced with an email style interaction instead, where we email the client and they respond by something that looks much more like an email. That's important for us because in practice, the ways you're going to speak to your client are probably either on the phone or by email. So that option is coming soon as well. We've got to get voice mode across the line first, but then this will be here soon. Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to wrap up there. Thanks for tuning in. We'll keep you updated about other things that are coming up. And if you've got any questions, drop us an email, hey@heymonika.com.